And the title of this is The Address of One of My Predators. One of them who charges should have been pressed against on many occasions, but then again, this is the United States where we victimize the victims. Where right or wrong doesn't matter. What matters is poverty. Where we have racist fuckheads pretending that all these things are happening only to certain colored people. Well, holy shit, you're a fucking idiot. Brian David Schwartz, he knew that I didn't have an income while I was up there. He didn't care about the consequences for me of any of the shit that he wanted to do. And of course, this sucks because I need help stopping abuse, and my dad only cares about that Forex shit. Well, I wonder if my dad knew right now that three other victims of Boulder County Sheriff's Department were able to get cases and win tens of thousands of dollars. And you know, my dad could have had a piece of that just by looking at evidence and telling the truth. All the man gives a shit is about money. It's all he's ever cared about. Himself. He's selfish. How selfish of a person do you have to be to make your 15-year-old son create porno sites for you? Not fucking okay. But of course, we don't all get to have family who gives a shit. Most of us, like in my situation and my sister ripping me off for all that money. Yeah, that is a ripoff. And she should have done the job she was paid for. But the thing is, I can't barely function as a human being. Jesus fucking goddamn Christ. I need help stopping this. It's obviously beyond any repair because nobody actually cares. My predators care, but none of those who claim to love me and none of those who are supposed to actually did. Just like Natalie Marie Bollinger. I'll put out every fucking personal piece of information that it takes to make sure that people are aware of these predators and the things that they've done. You think it's fucking okay? It's not. You're all pieces of shit. You're fucking trash. You notice all this hell that I'm going through, and you see how much extra work it is, not just for me, but for all these other people. Because I can't take care of myself. I want my life to end every moment of every fucking day. Not because of the shit that Natalie and her goddamn druggy nut jobs did. No, it was the fact that in 6 years of trying to get someone to fucking listen, to actually care, to this day, none of them will. That's the problem with the mentally ill tag. To all these people, it means retard. To Amanda Demet, it means retard. I wonder if she was diagnosed as autistic, would she treat herself like a fucking retard? And of course, these people, rather than doing their jobs as mandated reporters, what do? They wanted to argue. Rather than admit that I went to them for help, what did they want to do? Play fucking retarded. Jesus goddamn fucking Christ, this is what it's like for a homeless male. But it's magically okay, isn't it? Sure, it's illegal for these people to do this stuff, isn't it? Of course it is. But only if someone cares enough to fucking look who's not me. We live in a horrible fucking world, but it's all of your fault. It truly is. Because you look away when it's not happening to you. You look away when it's happening to others. And then you want to hide behind your own family as your excuse for doing horrible shit. Amanda Demet, she wants to make any excuse. She gave me like 6 different excuses within about, I don't know, 20 minutes. No, I don't fucking bite, you dumb cunt. I shouldn't be out here going through this shit. But on the bright side, it could be worse. No, it fucking couldn't. You guys are all fucking pieces of shit. Did I or did I not go to you for fucking help, you goddamn pieces of shit? Amanda Demet, how long ago did I first come to you about the situation with Natalie? And why are you playing fucking retarded? Why are you hiding behind your kids and allowing my loved ones to be fucking threatened? Are you helping Tara get away with ripping me off for $1,800, or was Tara really fucking victimized in the way that she claimed? See, it's a tough fucking question, ain't it? No, it's fucking not. It's really not. You either helped my predators to get away or you didn't. The fact that you treated me like I was a fucking retard. The fact that none of these people followed the laws, not even the fucking cops. And you guys want to say, oh, well, Sean, you broke the law. You broke the law. You know what I admitted to when I broke the law? The shit you're throwing in my face. Hidden occasions where I broke the law. In fact, those were occasions that if those people had actually given a shit and tried fucking looking at the evidence, Amanda Demet, just couldn't. I mean, when she thought that she'd have a chance with me because, well, we were in contact every day, sure, she played along and pretended like she cared enough to actually speak up, to say something, to anything at all. But really, when it comes down to it, is that all of you are pieces of shit. Every fucking one of you. Of course, there are things that are worse in this world than death. What I was put through as a child is worse than death. People should be allowed to die after that. My dad chose drugs over his own kids. My mom chose drugs over her own kids. And you guys want to pretend that, oh, well, you're 18, you're an adult now, you can do whatever you want. That's fucking horse shit. And those of you who want to spout that ignorant bullshit at me, you got family, you got friends who actually care. If this shit happened to you, you would have no shortage of help in fucking person. What'd you do with me? You fucking threw me away. You forced me to go from one end of the fucking country for help because you just simply didn't care enough to tell the fucking truth. You deserve every bit of hell that you go through. Every one of your loved ones who dies. You deserve the pain. You deserve to be chastised. You deserve to be treated with equality. How did you treat me when my loved ones were killed? My advice, Amanda DeMett, forget about your dead mom. She didn't matter. She's dead. She's dead. It doesn't fucking feel good, does it, Amanda? Oh, did you know that your mom's dead? Oh, that doesn't feel good either. That's right. Ask somebody a question that you're well fucking aware that they know. What, you guys really think that after 6 years, when you tell me, oh, well, they caught Natalie's killer, you really think after 6 fucking years that I didn't know they caught Natalie's killer? Are you seriously that mentally fucking retarded? Who is it that told the world? I did. A day before it was released to the public. So, yeah, before you start spouting retarded shit at me, maybe you should listen to what the fuck is going on. Amanda did kind of, sort of. And I gotta say that very loosely because not really. Could be worse, though. You could be my dad. Pieces of shit like that probably shouldn't exist. Would my dad molest an underage girl? He might. My dad's a fucking pervert. It's one of the grossest fucking things about him. However, he's a Nebraskan with a healthy Nebraskan hatred of homosexuals. So, yeah, he probably was not going to try to stick his penis in me at any point in time, but I wouldn't put it past the man to do that to a woman. I wouldn't put it past the man to do it to an underage girl. That doesn't make him guilty, though, does it? Of course it doesn't. Yes, my dad's a fucking sick pervert, but that doesn't make him a child molester. He is, however, a predator. Being predatory towards your own son like that, that's not okay. Illegally imprisoning your own son, your own adult son, because he won't do what you want right when you want it. See, here's the thing. All of these people had expectations of me. They expected me to do what they want right when they fucking want it. And you know what? Even if I gave it to them, it wasn't fucking good enough. These are selfish people. Did my sister rip me off? Did she use her daughter to rip me off? Did she pretend like she was threatened in order to rip me off? My little sister knew that I needed help with this stuff. She was well fucking aware. She knew that taking that money, especially under those circumstances, was wrong. But she was fine with it. She was fine with it. And then magically, after she gets the money, and I've got nothing left that I can fucking give her, she pulls that last minute bullshit. So I had to go to court alone. I couldn't even show up to court. I had to go all the way to fucking McCook, Nebraska to get away from my fucking predators. How the hell am I supposed to turn them in or show up to fucking court? How the hell am I supposed to do that? Meanwhile, it's not like anybody in my family gives a shit. They never did. Which, of course, I spoke out about from the very beginning. Whenever people said, don't you have family you can go to? No, I fucking don't. They're drug dealers and fucking child molesters. With my little sister, I'm wondering, is my little sister on fucking drugs? Is my little sister doing drugs? Of course, my little sister, she gets housing, doesn't she? After pulling the shit that she pulled, she's magically got housing after over a year and a half of couldn't get housing. I think my sister is a lying piece of shit. But at the same time, I want to give her the benefit of the doubt because she's my sister. I do love my sister. Of course, I wanted to give Natalie the benefit of the doubt because I loved her too. I wanted to give Jamie Curtis the benefit of the doubt because I love her too. But you know what? You can't trust a woman in this country who was raised in this country not to fall back on those evil fucking loopholes. And these aren't legal loopholes that these women are using. These are societal loopholes. She has a vagina, she gets special treatment. Should my dad get special treatment? Or should he be in prison for what he did? Well, that depends. Let's look back through history. Douglas Pollock did what my dad did to me. He did it to his wife, though. What ended up happening with Douglas Pollock? Well, he was a county attorney, so he got a slap on the wrist and probation and got to still be the county attorney. How crazy is that? Chapel, Nebraska is a nasty place. Of course, this whole world's getting nasty, ain't it? We got a bunch of Americans who are too cowardly to wipe their own asses. I listen to people talking about shit that who the fuck would care about that? I'm fucking focused on survival here. So are a lot of other people, but survival ain't the same as living. For me, I gotta try to worry about getting the part fixed today because we stripped something last night. And I say we because, well, my responsibility, my vehicle, I let the man work on it. And of course, he did a greater job than I could have done, being as I am ignorant of that shit altogether. Most of the stuff that I know isn't stuff that I know, it's stuff that I've been told. I don't know if it's true or not. I'm not a mechanic. I didn't grow up with a dad who taught me how to do that stuff. I grew up with a dad who was in prison. It don't exactly work to learn that stuff from your daddy while he's in prison. The difference between my dad and I is that my dad went to prison for something he actually did. I went to prison for telling on my predators. See, my dad, he already had everything set up. His life was fucking great before he went to prison, but he was a selfish person who only cared about money. Nothing changed. When he got out of prison, he went from being a cocaine addict to drinking rum and coke. Being not a little bit of an asshole, but a lot of one. Douglas Pollock illegally imprisoned his wife, ex-wife. She left him, thank goodness. Of course, there's a lot of situations where men beat the fuck out of their wives and those wives go back. The Straska family in Chapel's like that. Old man Straska thought it was okay to beat his wife, and of course she did eventually go back to him. When you illegally imprison someone, yeah, you're letting them know that they're not a human being to you, that they don't matter, that they're less than human. My dad's always been like that towards me. Well, ever since he found out I was autistic, I should say. Before that, he used to even brag about how smart I was. My dad thought he was going to exploit the shit out of me to make a bunch of money making porno sites. Really, he should have been listening to my ideas instead of shooting them all down. telling me how stupid they were all the fucking time. Of course, now a bunch of my ideas, other people came up with them too. There were other people who had the same idea about melting down plastic bottles and making see-through canoes. My dad thought that was the dumbest idea ever. That guy who makes plastic canoes now, he's a millionaire. From what? Making rotomolded plastic canoes out of #1 recycled plastics, just like I wanted to do. There's a big difference between your great and wonderful ideas from the outside looking in, but these homeless people, you get to hear their wishes, their needs. They need land. Without land to have something of their own on, everything is going to get taken from them over and over again, and you're just going to look away and make excuses. The most victimized people in America are all on the streets. No matter what, my predators were allowed to cut me off. My predators were allowed to abuse their gender, to get police officers to break the law, commit felonies on multiple occasions. And what happens when I try to turn in them cops? They all play stupid. Not just them. All of the people you're supposed to turn them into all play stupid. And they play stupid unless you have someone who actually cares. None of these people actually cared. Look at the way that they treated me when there was nothing in it for them. When my money was gone, they were gone. Isn't that swell? And of course, then they get to go, oh, well, I didn't rip you off. I was threatened. The cops chased me and fucking followed me, and I was threatened, and my daughter was threatened. No. You're all liars. You're all liars. Or you're shitty fucking people. Turns out it's both. I've been through enough situations with enough mothers whose children were threatened to know that women, when their children are threatened, they don't shut up and take it and just allow it. Now with Amanda DeMette, she wanted to give me any excuse. You know what? Fuck you. You scammed me. None of your excuses are going to work anymore. Especially since you can't keep them straight. With Mandy Singer, she's got a valid excuse. I was there to verify her excuses. They're not excuses. Her fears are very legit. I've got recordings from many people who told me that they were threatened and harassed for trying to help me. Many of them. That was their reason for not actually helping. Dan Fabert knew the situation with Layla Johnson was not as she was claiming that it was. He was well aware of that. Now with him wanting to claim that he only knew, he just found out that day. Well, I got to give him that leeway. Since those recordings and those telephones were stolen. And no, you don't get to blame that on me. You don't. I'm not capable of taking care of myself. You know that I'm forced to try to defend myself in impossible situations. Catch-22 after catch-22. You don't have the same rules for me as you have for you. Over and over again. If you don't look, you did nothing wrong. Well, if you didn't look, but you claim that you cared about me, you showed me that you don't. Love somebody. Well, there's things that you can do to prove it. I'm not talking about one of these things that women do to test out if a man really loves her by putting him through the worst fucking possible hell imaginable. We've seen so many movies about that, right? Like if you take enough of her shit, according to Hollywood, if you take enough of her shit and let her abuse you enough, she'll eventually fall in love with you. No, the fuck she won't, dude. You're a goddamn sponge. My dad lives in Tacoma, Washington. He's not a good man. He only cares about money. When I was up there were two things that were going to happen if I tried talking to my father. Either A, I would talk about something that he cares about. Forex.com. That's what my dad fucking cares about. Gambling. Holy Christ. Exchange one addiction for another, right? Well, all of his addictions are money related. His cocaine addiction was more related to making money off of it than it was actually putting it up his nose. That's why he went to prison. My mom was not focused on making money with it. She was focused on putting it up her nose. That's why she was in and out of rehab over and over again. According to my mom, the day that they met, my dad gave her cocaine. Well, how many women do I know that ended up with the boyfriends and the husbands they got that beat the living fuck out of them, among other things? And because of situations like that. Oh, sure. Jamie Curtis. Yes, I could have had Jamie Curtis at any point in time. I knew that all it would have taken was a little bit of meth or a little bit of cocaine. I wouldn't have had to provide alcohol. She'd get herself drunk and horny and want to hit something. The thing about after Natalie died, yeah, I knew it was pretty well futile. I knew that people were going to try to hide their involvement. They were going to try to hide the way that they treated me. Matter of fact, every bit of what people were doing to me before Natalie was killed, I spoke out about. And then you guys want to pretend that I'm making it up after the fact, but then again, my timeline shows that I spoke up about the abuse. It shows that I tried harder than anybody else that I've ever met to try to get the abuse to stop. But when you are made a target by fucking drug-dealing women, oh, girls would never sell drugs. A man must have made them do it. Well, maybe a man did. According to Natalie and Alicia Bollinger, it was their dad who did that. Now, of course, we got these web sleuth sites. They don't want to fucking look at the evidence either. They want to fucking sell a false narrative that gets people hurt. And of course, none of these people who claim to love me or claim to care about me gave two shits about that. It's just excuse after excuse. There was when they claimed that they were gonna, and they didn't, and they didn't, and they didn't, and they made zero fucking effort at all whatsoever. They want to pretend like telling the truth isn't going to work. Well, of course it's not going to fucking work. You didn't try, Marcia Estrada. You didn't try Brian Schwartz. You didn't try Amanda DeMette. The laws need to be changed. But as long as you've got people like Amanda DeMette, and I do have to consider her predatory at this point, I don't believe that she did predatory things towards me to begin with in a malicious way. But she certainly is now. Awful sweet of her. I didn't choose poverty. I was forced into it because you guys don't like people who are unattractive. You don't like people who are filthy or dirty. This town goes out of their way to make sure that homeless people don't have access to garbage cans. We can't just park in town and stay there. We gotta find a place like this where it doesn't have 10,000 signs saying no overnight parking. You don't stop to think about how much money it costs us to have to move all the fucking time, to have to put all them fucking quarters into them goddamn machines when you ain't making enough to fucking live on, let alone pay your car insurance and the upkeep and the maintenance. And you're constantly moving from one place to another, and you don't have a fucking steady address to have mail sent to. And the people who are supposed to help you with this, they're being wishy-washy. They need to fucking shit or get off the pot. Don't bullshit me for 6 months about how you're gonna help me. And then, when you get busted being a lying piece of shit about it, oh yes, now you're magically a victim. No, the fuck you're not. There are two people that, yeah, I felt bad for having to expose them the way that I did. That would be Mandy Hughes, and of course, Kayla Trujillo. I don't feel bad now, knowing what she was up to with Blaine McCrellius. Nah, fuck you. That ain't a friend. Yeah, you said you were gonna, but you didn't, because your drug dealer don't like me. What a fucking piece of shit. Now, don't get me wrong. Miss Peaches was pissed off about the fact that I recorded that shit and I put it on the internet. But I shouldn't have fucking had to. Just like everyone else, all these people who, they need help, they got kids, they need help. But when it comes to helping out another individual, especially somebody that helped them, it's, oh, I can't help, I have kids. Operation hide behind your children, like my father did, like my mother did, like many others did. They did horrible things intentionally, and then wanted to use their kids as an excuse for doing it. Well, no, you don't get to do that. The lives of my loved ones does supersede the lives of yours. The only instance that is not the case is when it comes to children. Because I don't give a fuck if you've been my best friend for 20 goddamn years. You fuck with kids, you fucked with me. And that's how it is. That's how it's always gonna be as long as I'm still breathing. Yeah, sure, I care about you, but I care about your kids more. If you're gonna lie to me and you're gonna tell me that bullshit about how you're a mother and you're just protecting your kids, no the fuck you're not. If those people actually threatened your kids, you would have done what a mother does and fucking do something about it. Now, there's all these folks that I have verification from that they were threatened and harassed. I even have verification from some of their predators, that their predators actually did the things that these folks were claiming. Like, of course, the conversations between me and Aaron Cockerham, and the conversations between me and Carl Rogers. Now, how the fuck, when I'm dealing with all of these goddamn retards, all of these fucking web nut jobs, how the fuck are you expecting me to fucking function? Going there and finding out that they're fucking drunk as a fucking, holy hell, Shannon Alvarado, that was a fucked up situation. It's still a fucked up situation. That woman went out of her way to try to convince me I should go to California, that if I went to California, she would help me. If I went to California, if I went to California, if I went to California, I went to California. Did she help? No, she didn't. No, she didn't. Because she never came forward. She allowed me to be treated like I was a schizophrenic for things that she knew to be true, and she literally made zero effort to turn it in. Dan Fabert knew that I was being treated like a schizophrenic over that shit with Layla Johnson, but Dan Fabert won't go to the cops. Of course, when Dan Fabert got busted lying and being a lying piece of shit, what did he say? Oh, I should have told the FBI you were a danger to society. Well, that's what you get, Dan Fabert, for being a fucking piece of shit and a goddamn dirtbag. You are a piece of shit. Straight up. No ifs, ands, or fucking buts about it. Now, I got a little bit of information out of you, but of course, just like all of the rest of these fucking morons, Dan Fabert won't admit to the parts where he fucked up. No, he'll blame it on everyone else. Kind of like Kayla Peach's Trujillo. Oh, she didn't want to take responsibility for the way that she treated me for an entire year before Natalie was killed. I mean, when I finally was able to get something going with Natalie, where I finally had some paperwork and I could finally take her to court, and these people who had been physically assaulting me for over a year by that point. So, of course, with Kayla Trujillo, after the fact, she wanted to blame it all on Abear. It's all Abear's fault that in December of 2016, that's right, over a year before Natalie was killed, it's all Abear's fault that Kayla Trujillo didn't listen. Well, only in part. See, the way that Abear treated me that night, instead of listening to what I had to say, he just wanted to tell me those pretty words that you guys want to say. Those pretty words don't work. Those pretty words don't stop the violence. They don't stop the assaults. They don't make it so that I can actually take care of myself or defend myself or even have the goddamn right to do so. And you get to see why. Amanda DeMent doesn't give two fucks. She never did. What she cared about is she had a friend she could bitch about when all of her fucking life's shit come crashing down on her fucking head. And then, of course, she wants to give me advice that if I was to give her that advice, oh, she wouldn't like it. I don't like any of you. I really don't. Because none of you are good people. Not one. In 6 years of trying to get someone to look at the evidence and share it, I gotta deal with assholes who have ulterior motives. They're not gonna put any fucking effort towards it. They all got their own shit they want. Doug Thunder, he thought I was gonna be a fucking woman hater like him. Oh, fuck no. Are you fucking kidding me? Yeah, I do recognize that women in this country be able to afford to actually rent a place of my own. There's no way in hell. I had to do desperate shit because when I'm being abused, the people that I'm told to go to don't do shit. Not my fault. I'm gonna make a video all about Amanda DeMet right after this. Good to be rid of you. Thanks for coming to visit. Stay out of trouble or don't get caught. Remember, you are your brother's keeper, and no victim left behind.